Good morning. Today we are going to discuss about another type of memory, that is cache memory. Cache memory topic is divided into two sessions, that is day 13 and day 14. Actually, the cache memory is a memory placed in between CPU and main memory. This is to compensate the speed mismatch between CPU and main memory. The clock of the processor is very fast, while the main memory access time is comparatively slower. So, hence, the processing speed depends more on the speed of the main memory. So, to compensate that mismatch, we are using cache memory. Cache memory is a special, very high speed memory and is of volatile in nature. It is used to speed up and synchronize with high speed CPU. It is costlier as compared to main memory or secondary memory, but economical than CPU registers, and the size of the cache memory is smaller than the primary and secondary memory. Now let's see the performance of cache, whether it is worth to use, or without cache memory also the computer will work, but what is the actual need of using this cache memory? This can be analyzed based on an equation. When the processor needs to read or write a location in main memory, it first checks whether it will reside in the cache memory or not. If it resides, we can say a cache hit has occurred. That is, it is inside the cache memory. If the processor does not find the memory location in the cache, a cache miss has occurred. For a cache miss, the cache allocates a new entry and copies the data from the main memory, or it may be from the secondary memory. Then we can use that block of data for the processing. The performance of a cache memory can be calculated with the help of hit ratio equation, that is equal to hit divided by hit plus misses, that is equivalent to number of hits divided by total accesses. If the hit ratio is reasonably good, we can say that cache performance is reasonably good. Otherwise, the use of cache is not up to the mark. So, it may be avoided. We can directly connect with the primary memory. Or we can improve cache performance using higher cache block size, higher associativity, reduce miss rate, reduce miss penalty, and reduce the time to hit in the cache. Next, we will discuss about cache mappings, how the cache memory is mapped with the primary memory. There are three different types of mapping used for the purpose of cache memory, which are direct mapping, associative mapping, and set associative mapping. Before going into the different types of mapping, we must know some more points regarding memory management. You can see this figure. We have processor, and inside that registers, cache memory, then main memory, and we have secondary storage devices. Main memory is divided into equal size partitions called as blocks or frames. Cache memory is divided into partitions having same size as that of blocks, and these are called as lines in the cache memory. During cache mapping, block of main memory is simply copied to the cache, and the block is not actually brought from the main memory. And all the data inside a primary memory can't be copied into the cache memory because it is smaller in size. So, we need different types of mappings. First one is direct mapping. In direct mapping, a particular block of main memory can map only to a particular line of the cache. So, there is a restriction, like we have to store the block of main memory into a particular location inside a cache memory. The line number of cache to which a particular block can map is given by an equation, cache line number equal to main memory block address modulo number of lines in cache. So, this equation is used for mapping between main memory and cache. We will see this by an example in the coming slides. In direct mapping, the physical address can be divided like this figure. That is, we are dividing the address into 3 sections. First one is tag, then line number, and we have block number also. We will discuss with an example. Consider cache memory. We have n number of lines. Suppose n equal to 128, and we have a memory size with 4096 blocks. Then block J of main memory can map to line number with the previous equation, that is J mod n only of the cache. Here, for example, if we have block 0 and block 128 and block 256 in the main memory are mapped into cache line 0 with using this equation. Since 0 mod 128 equal to 0 and 128 mod 128 is equal to 0, again 256 mod 128 is also 0. So, these blocks will be stored in cache line 0. In this particular example, we have 128 cache lines and 4096 blocks in my main memory. So, in total 32 blocks are assigned to cache line 0 as and when required. Similarly, block 1, then block 129 and block 257 etc. are mapped into cache line 1, since 1 mod 128 equal to 1, 129 mod 128 equal to 1 etc. So, based on this equation, we are storing the block inside a primary memory into the cache line for the storing or for the easiness of the processing. This method is based on the modulo operation, which is purely a mathematical formulae, and we will see what are the advantage and disadvantage of using this particular mapping. It is easy to implement and no need of any replacement algorithm. This is because a main memory block can map only to a particular line of the cache. But it is not a flexible method. The other cache lines may be free, but the new incoming block will always replace the existing block in that particular line. It cannot be replaced anywhere else. This problem is also referred to as contention problem. So, that is the case of direct mapping. Other two types of mapping, including associative mapping and set associative mapping, will be discussed in the next session. Thank you.